Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of the Bubby Brister Fantasy Football Podcast presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I actually saw Bubby over the weekend and it sounded like he might have quit.
Quit. What did he quit?
I don't know. He was bitching about podcasts and not having time to do them. And I don't know, but Bubby's pissed.
Bubby's real. I mean, life is not going well for him on patrol in DC. We are now available for those that don't know on YouTube. So you can find us on YouTube, talking about fantasy football as well. So you can find us there as well as Spotify and SoundCloud.
Yeah, YouTube was because Brindle was like, I only listen to podcasts on YouTube. And I was like, all right, motherfucker, I'll put this RSS feed on YouTube and let's see if you listen to it. Is
I
that
mean,
was kind of like, that was a spite feed.
podcasts do really well on YouTube. So why not?
I use Pocket Cast to listen to podcasts, but ours
Fair,
isn't video, it's just an audio feed.
which is good.
Yeah, I don't feel like editing 2 sets of recordings, it's a little much for our podcast that has a target audience of 12 other people, 14 if you include us. Um, but yeah, our main topic for this week is the quarterback injuries. We got a lot already. Brock Purdy has already missed a game. Jaden Daniels sounds doubtful for week 3. Justin Fields has been ruled out with a concussion. Joe Burrow's season's likely over, at least his fantasy season. He may be back for the NFL playoffs, but probably not for your fantasy league's playoffs. You were
Yeah,
afflicted by this with Purdy.
yeah, I got afflicted by Purdy as well. So it's a tough time. I thought the NFL protects quarterbacks, but these quarterbacks are going down fast for a lot of different things. I'm a little surprised about the Burrow situation. Is turf toe, like extreme turf toe. This man's fragile. He's been in the league for 5 years. He got drafted in 2020, and he's only had one complete season.
Not good.
That's not good. Jane Daniels getting hurt again in his second season. It's not looking good. He's been very fragile. I'm not sure what's up with that. But impressiveness though is you can see the return of Mr. Jake Brownie.
Jake Browning, yeah, he helped the Bengals win their game, but he threw 3 interceptions in the process. So he might be a ride or die guy. He's going to be flinging the ball to Higgins and Chase for sure. So he'll at least be interesting. He may not be good. He may not even be fun, but he will at least be interesting.
At least the games will be watchable. You know what I mean? Because I think unlike Mariota might not be fantasy relevant. If he starts over Daniels, I don't know about that. Tyrod Taylor still around, and he's gonna start for the Jets at the Bucks home opener.
Unless he
So
gets stabbed by his doctor
right,
pregame.
randomly stabbed again. They're going down to a third string quarterback, which would be brutal. Um, I understand how Tyrod keeps getting a job. That's amazing because I thought you would have got Tyler Huntley. He's the next generation
Of Tyrod.
of
Yeah, I
Tyrods.
I was thinking of this. How does he keep getting jobs? And it kind of makes sense in that if you have a mobile quarterback, he's the ultimate cheap experienced mobile quarterback who can serve as your backup and you really don't have to change the offense too much. So if he's backing up Fields, you hope Taylor can just run the offense for a week or two while he deals with this concussion. But yeah, he's not good. I went in on him fantasy wise a long time ago. He was one of my coma picks in like the 12th round. I knew he was going to start for Buffalo
Right.
and he wasn't even good at that. Like he wasn't even a good fantasy quarterback.
'Cause that's what he got a contract with Buffalo, so he was a certain guaranteed starter, and he didn't make nothing of it. You have Mac Jones for the Niners. He's serviceable. He's a less productive Brock Purdy.
He was 26 of 39, 279 yards and 3 touchdowns in their win against the Saints. Granted,
The
it's the
Saints.
Saints, but
Yeah.
you can maybe give him a little bit of a reset and some more of the benefit of the doubt. Like he was in some shitty situations with the Patriots and following Tom Brady, and then he went to Jacksonville, which is a dumpster fire. So now he maybe has a soft landing spot where he can do good in an offense that is productive.
It's a system. It's the Shanahan system. He knows how to run Shanahan's system, which apparently Brock Purdy has no problem doing. But Matt Jones should be a higher level of talent to him. He should be able to make it work.
And I was telling you before we press record that I'm so glad I didn't reach for Jaden Daniels in our draft. Like, I'm a big fan. I love watching the Commanders nowadays, but it's not always a good idea to get in bed with your reality players because they will make you turn on them if they fuck you in fantasy. And if Jane Daniels would got hurt and then he tanks my fantasy season, now I got to hold that against him in reality. So I'm glad I went for Lamar. It paid off this week. Another former Washington quarterback. Let's talk about these backups now. Carson Wentz is going to be starting for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we forgot about JJ. Which JJ's in trouble because if Carson comes out there and does something.
Thought Carson Wentz was going to ball out with the Commanders a couple years ago. It did not happen. It failed miserably. But if the Vikings do one thing really well, it's bring back dead quarterbacks to life. And this is like in their franchise DNA. They did it with Randall Cunningham. They did it with Jeff George. They did it with Sam Darnold. They did
Yep,
it
yep,
with Brad Johnson. They did
yep.
it with
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. Yeah, it's just something they do. And Wentz has that number 3 overall pick pedigree. He has experience.
Who was that guy who was a career backup and then he like went off and he lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. You know what
Case
I'm talking
Keenum.
about? Case Keenum, man. Case Keenum was an absolute baller on that team. So yes, it's something about that skull energy makes you amazing if you've been somewhere else and you show up there. It's the homegrown stuff that's not working out so well for them.
Yeah, there's just something franchises get these weird things in their DNA. Like coaches can change, players can change, front offices can change, ownership can even change. But there's just something in a franchise's DNA that like Orioles center fielders or Cowboys quarterbacks like Romo, Dak,
Yeah.
Aikman.
Yep. They get them. They just produce them, and it's just what the franchise is. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to rank these backups then between Mac Jones, Browning, Wentz, Taylor, and Mariota? I guess for fantasy purposes, Mariota I think would be good to fill in a bye week if you needed him to. But
Yeah.
he has a limited ceiling. You'd be hoping for like
So
50
tier
yards
one.
rushing.
So tier one stonks up on Mister Brownie. Brownie
Yeah,
is going to throw for 250 at least. At least 250. You will get 2 interceptions, maybe an interception or two, depending on the
maybe
matchup.
3.
Maybe three, depending on the matchup. Like I wouldn't start him against the Browns. It'd be an ugly situation. Who they play next week? I don't know who they play next week, but whoever their matchup is, you know, Justin Jefferson, Higgins, their numbers are going to go way up. Chase Brown's numbers might stay flat, but he's going to be a lot more aggressive than Burrow was. So you got that. I think Mariota is number two. What you said there with Washington, because Mariota might air the ball out a little bit more. The vet, he's been in that offense for a while.
Yeah, he's capable. Like I think best case scenario for him is like 50 yards rushing, 250 yards passing, and then you kind of hope he can throw 2 touchdowns and maybe even fall in the end zone.
Right, it might be like one touchdown throw and one ran.
Yeah. But he
Yeah,
might not turn the ball over either. Like he's pretty smart with the ball for, a guy who's been labeled a bust. Like he's not
right.
a turnover machine.
Matt Jones probably three. Um, not I don't ceiling is not a high ceiling there. I think it's blamed kind of to the Niners pieces. They don't got a lot of pieces right now. There are no Kittles, you know. Pearsall, he is not. He hasn't cracked 70 yards catching yet, so he doesn't factor in yet.
He had 100 yards in week 1
We
on 4
this
catches.
on 4 catches.
Yeah. I
I
think.
guess did he?
I was just
Um,
looking at him today.
like I don't know about that,
He's my flex guy.
but then you got I don't think he had 100. I don't think so. I'm in one of my leagues, and I don't think he went off like that. But
Yeah, 4 catches, 7 targets, 108 yards against Seattle in week 1.
really, wow, would have thought that. Baller, I guess. But I mean, and Jennings is there too, so there's something there. Who you got left? So we have Wentz and who else?
Tyrod, who's just we didn't.
So yeah,
It's kind of
Wentz is
fitting that
a
we forgot
Wentz
him.
is, Wentz is your flyer pick. You know what I mean? Where you're gonna get Minnesota, you got Jettis, and you got Hawkinson. So you got pieces. Was it Aaron Jones Senior is going? He's hurt.
He's hurt.
So major stonks up for Jordan Mason, but yeah, so he's going way up now. So there's big potential or potential because Carson Wentz is known to throw some picks. And Tyrod Taylor, man, you're lucky to get 150 yards. The only positive side I can see for Tyrod is he's facing the Bucks, and if you're going to throw a pass, you're going to throw the pass on the Bucks because they stop the run, they can't stop the pass too well. And Bucks have a tradition deep in their DNA that if they face an opposing quarterback who's a backup, the backup looks like Joe Montana every time.
Yeah, the Bucks should have kept Shiloh Sanders, and they wouldn't need defensive backfield help.
He couldn't field nothing. We don't need no more fighters out there.
All right, yeah, let's dig into these box scores. This is week 2. Pound Town played the Renegades of Funk. We were both 0-1 coming into the game, and when we ended last week's episode, I said I needed a win. I got one here. 47 to 126. I got a huge hand from Justin Fields' concussion, so he only got 4 points out of the quarterback. That's tough for Dave. And then Hawkinson also only gave him 2 points. I was very top heavy. Lamar got 37. Amon-Ra got 38. But they say if you nail your top 2 picks, you're good to go. And that's what I did here. It got me a win. The only other guy who did anything was Kenneth Walker, who I was like despondent about after week 1 when Charbonnet outcarried and outran him. And Kenny Walker did pretty good, over 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, very true. You guys both didn't start a head coach.
I benched mine once I saw I had the victory in hand. I even dropped him and picked up Jaden Higgins, who I made a big trade this week. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt got me 1 point. He only had 17 yards. I drafted Travis Kelce. I packaged him with Jaden Higgins, who's a rookie receiver with the Texans, and Tyler Algier, who, is kind of limited. He only really plays when the Falcons are blowing somebody out. He's a decent depth piece. And I sent that offer to Freeman because I was so freaking out about Walker and Pacheco after last week. I wanted to push one of them down to be my third running back. Well, now I have like 3 third running backs, but I got Krosky-Merritt, Chris Rodriguez. Both their stonks are up because Austin Eckler is done. He may never play again. He tore his Achilles. And I
Yeah,
got Brenton Strange back in return, who is, we'll see what he does. I don't have high hopes. He might not be on my roster very long, but he's a depth tight end.
Yeah, your team is interesting situation because I don't know how you feel about your backup running back situation of Pacheco, Cream Hunt, and B. Allen there.
Yeah, so I dropped Braylon Allen this morning during waivers. Kareem Hunt and Pacheco is interesting because I feel the Chiefs are really struggling. They need to get some balance back in their offense. Pacheco may or may not be the guy to do that. I could see Kareem Hunt becoming like a stabilizing force for them and then them just using him as their featured back, relegating Pacheco to RB2, which is probably what he should be at his size. He's too small to carry the full load.
Yeah, and for Dave, Dave's got to hurt because based off looking at this, he doesn't have a bench. He doesn't have a bench quarterback, so he had to pick up one during waivers today, I guess.
He did. He got Trevor Lawrence. He's on his
Okay.
3rd quarterback already. He's had Stafford, Fields, Bryce Young, and now Trevor Lawrence. He's on his 4th quarterback already. This is week 3. We've played 2 games.
And Bryce Young just went off this past week too. He has an amazing game, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he could definitely use that. Brian Thomas Jr. really let him down. He had like three main drops. He dropped a touchdown. Like he's got seeing ghosts out there. Jonathan Taylor though is turning back to peak form.
Yeah,
165
wow.
yards rushing. That's crazy.
It's crazy what your offense can do when you have a quarterback performing capably.
Right. You know, uh, Devontae Adams, 6 catches for 106 and a touchdown. You can't ask for more than that. That's great. He's doing his job.
By looking at Dave's lineup here, he had the better week than me. He got screwed by the quarterback and Hawkinson. Like I said, I was just propped up by those three guys. Swift had a nice week for him. He's got a Q next to his name. He had a touchdown, a fumble, and 62 yards. I wonder how hurt he is.
This Bears team is so bad.
Yeah.
They're bad. Yeah, Ben Johnson's in hell right now. He chose the wrong situation. And on the bench, George Pickens got the end zone, 5 for 68 with a touchdown. He was super excited about that. But then after that, he does have the other backup running back for Jacksonville. He had a receiving touchdown off a screen pass. So that's what game kind of on the scoreboard there. But beyond that, it's pretty tough. Dave's team is built to win because he has some main pieces that can score. Just fantasy football is tough. It's a game of weeks, and sometimes your players are highs and lows.
Yeah, he's better than his 0-2 start suggests, I think. Yeah, and he has ATN, who had a nice week for the second week in a row. He had 16 carries in week one. He had 14 in week two. So week one wasn't a fluke. Then he had 71 yards and he caught a touchdown. So he's got three pretty good backs. Like if Taylor and ATN is a pretty strong backfield so far.
Yeah, true
Better than
story.
mine. Yeah, so that's it for this one. We should have mentioned Devontae Adams too. He had his first big game with the Rams, six
Yeah,
catches,
I said
106
that.
yards. Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
yeah. I mean, you can't ask nothing more than that. I think that's you get that 100 yards receiving from every game, one touchdown, like 20. You get 20, 22 points every week from him. Solid. That's where part of his career he's at right now, especially with Puka on his team. So you gotta figure out how to even out these catches here.
Yeah, he was drafted at a discount for the first time in a long time. He went 41st overall.
First time ever.
So on to the next game. This is Tampa Bay Punishers versus Smash Hawk. And Smash Hawk smashed the Punishers 152 to 104. Smash Hawk improves to 2-0. What do you see in this one?
Well, on Tab Bay side, the glaring thing is Derrick Henry with 6 total points. Absolutely bottled up. The Browns legit probably have like the best defense in like the next 10 years, last 2 games. Their defense is so good, but their offense is so bad that they can't win a game. It's just I don't know what to say.
Yeah, you can't even blame Henry for this either. The Ravens still scored 41 points without him doing anything.
Drake London 3 for 49. That's Pink's coming down to earth. Not playing against Tampa. This is him coming back down to earth. Um, Reed for Green Bay is out. That's a goose egg. It's tough.
Yeah, he got hurt early in that game. He made a great catch, but there was a holding call on the play. That was on Thursday night against the Commanders. And I don't know, clavicle and a Jones fracture in his foot. Is he done for the year? That stuff usually means you're done for the year.
Feels like it. Feels like it. Um, and looking at this, and the worst part about it is that if you look at his bench, there's avenues for a win here. You know, there's no way you would bench Drake London and Jay Reed for Jennings and Waddell Robinson, but both of them are giving you 40 points.
Right, like if the bye weeks would have aligned perfectly with the option to put in those guys. Yeah, yeah, but you're not starting those guys over at least at this point in the year. Like Jawan Jennings had a nice bounce back, 5 catches, 89 yards, a touchdown. He's probably the number one receiver in San Francisco.
Yes.
He still has a little bit to prove. But if I'm him, my big concern this week is Tyrone Tracy because Scattaboo got most of the work,
Yep.
and Tracy was supposed to be the bell cow for the Giants, and it's week 2, and it looks like that might not be the case.
It's really weird because looking at them, Tracy looks like a bell cow. He's a tall, long strider running back, but Scadaboo's this short, act looking dude, and he's getting all the work that game. It's a question. There's a Q by his name, so who knows? He might have been banged up a little bit. And Scaboo was kind of the hot hand, so coach, he might have Dable might have rolled with the hot hand there.
Yeah, it says in week 1, Tracy had 74% of the snap share, and that was down to 42% in that game against the Cowboys. Maybe game flow had a lot to do with it. That game was a bunch of fireworks, so I don't know, maybe Scottaboo's a better blocker. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fireworks. I doubt anybody in this league has Russell Wilson on their team, but Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards. It's got to be a career high for him. He's never thrown that much in his life. So I thought Jameis Winston was playing for a second, looking at the stat line, and it was like Russell. I was like, for real? So that's crazy. Waddle got in the end zone though too for the Dolphins, which is good because he had such a down year last year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, all those guys scored touchdowns, Waddle, Jennings, and Robinson on his bench. To smash Hawks, so Jaden Daniels is probably out this week. Penix only had 7 points last week. 135 yards against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football. Are you playing Penix in week 3, or are you kicking the tires on another free agent?
Penix against the Saint. No, they're playing against Carolina. So that'd be an interesting matchup. I personally would not start him because that means your number one wide receiver, Drake London, is being guarded by JC Horn. And why would you throw to him? It's just so much easier to do something else. And it might be a lot of Bijan and Algier again. They might just run the ball because Carolina can't stop the run.
That's what Atlanta wants to do. They want to pound the ball with Algier, Robinson, and just have Penix play it safe. There's no reason to have him throwing 30 times, 40 times a game if you don't need him to. Yeah, here's
Right.
some of the quarterbacks who are out there. Tua, Stafford, Browning, Wilson, Mac Jones. That's about it. Bryce Young, if you want to buy that stock. Darnold against the Saints is interesting.
That's interesting. I might talk about that later. But on Smash Hawks team, he had Bijan 27 points for 143 yards rushing. E. Sampson, his role is about to shrink with
Judkins time.
Judkins time. So I'm sorry. Ridley 3 for 57.
I'm concerned if I'm him.
I'm feeling concerned because Ridley should be a number one, and he's playing like a number three, flex option. He got to get more targets, and he needs to hold on to the ball. Him and Ward needs to get aligned and get some passes completed. Yeah, that game was well out of hand, and the Cardinals were well on their way to a win, and Carolina started throwing the ball, and Ted McMillan he had a nice touchdown grab.
He got him in a
Well,
trade. Remember,
he almost had a touchdown. Sorry, he almost had one, but he had a good long distance catch though.
so that's like his second week in a row just falling short of the end zone. He dropped that ball in week 1 and now this one. Yeah, he traded Jamison Williams for him preseason, him and Lionheart. So it the looks like a good trade for both, I guess.
Yeah, because you're getting value out of both of them guys. You're getting a number. You're trading J Mo's a number two, Ted's a number one. It just said Bryce needs to play well.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. It seems like McMillan might have the higher ceiling because Williams is like a one trick pony. But yeah,
um, Nick Chubb, though 18 points is kind of false because they got that so late, and there's rumor that the Bucks allowed him to score a touchdown to get that. So it's like it was almost a gimme, so they get the ball back. That's what's being stirred in the rumor mill with that one.
if you had Nick Chubb, would you try and trade him while he's had a good first 2 weeks, thinking Mixon will be back, or are you gonna roll the dice and
Yes, because that Pumpkin's going to turn small. Because when Mixon comes back, he's guaranteed bell cow. Because the offense is going to open up where Mixon catch the ball. Like Chubb don't get no passing options at all.
yeah, he never has.
But he has Scatterboo on the bench, on his bench, which is interesting. So
Hey, good for
he
him for not dropping him after week 1. Honestly,
right, and he had Bills defense, which actually ransacked the Jets week one to the tune of 22 points.
McBride, another good game, but another no touchdown. So
That's his trademark. Catches, no touchdowns.
all right, on to the next one. Hookem, that is Spawn. He changed his name. I guess he's a Longhorns fan. He played Brandon. Um, Spawn got high points. Nothing Brandon could have done, but Brandon would have beat every other team in the league. He
True.
is. I think two of our 0-2 teams are pretty good, and then then there's Freeman who is just in for a lost year without Burrow.
We'll talk about when we get there.
But yeah, Brandon's a tough luck loser here. Bo Nix had a good week for him, 30 points, 3 touchdowns, 206 yards. That was after a week one that left something to be desired. He has one of the best backfields in the league, and Saquon and James Cook. They combined for over 200 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. T. Higgins, he's going to take a step back without Burrow. Cortland Sutton, get him out of here. 1 catch, 6 yards.
The Broncos. See, that's how frustrated I am with this. The Broncos pass situation is so frustrating because they have the tools to do well, but they're mediocre at best. The passing situation with him,
I don't think they support
Mims
a
found the
top guy.
but he has Sean Payton, and Sean Payton's always had a top guy.
And maybe he doesn't want to deal with it and pay a guy, so he's just like, you know what, we're gonna throw it to like 10 different guys, and no one's allowed to have more than 5 catches.
Yeah, he might as well move Cooper Cup to that wide receiver 2 situation on his team, and then pick a flex. But his flex options aren't the best at the current time because when you're looking deeper in his bench there, Jonnu Smith, Shipley, that's that Demario Douglas.
Yeah, that is sad city on his bench.
Thornton Jr., who had 1 catch for 20 yards early in that game. I think I was awake for that one, and then he had nothing else the rest of the game. Jeez. Brandon Aubrey, though, golly, 17 points for your kicker. When your kicker outscores your wide receiver and your tight end combined, it's crazy.
Yeah, he had 47 points from his special teams, and still couldn't beat Rob. Rob's team, top to bottom, is strong. His bench, double-digit points from everyone on his bench except for Khalil Shakur. Drake May, 35 points, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs was running all over the Commanders. The Packers will be playing with leads a lot this year, it seems like.
Yeah.
And Jacobs is going to eat off that.
Well, see, I'm concerned about that because Josh Jacobs, you need to run a two-headed monster if you're going to keep a lead because Josh Jacobs is going to end up dying at the end of the season. Oakland killed him, and now it's like, hey, he's going to be weared out by December.
Yeah, I share that same thought. He's older than you think.
And Spain, look, Rob, sometimes the moon's aligned properly because Malik Neighbors, this number is not going to happen all the time. Not with Russell Wilson.
Know.
Russell Wilson's your quarterback.
I feel like if Russell Wilson throws for 150 yards, I think 110 of those are going to go to Malik Neighbors most weeks.
Right, but not 9 for 167 for 2 touchdowns for 37 points. I don't feel confident in that. I don't feel confident in Jay Williams either. He's like he'll score touchdowns. Javonte Williams. I'm not confident either because we've been fooled by him before in Denver.
He gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, so I'm not too Smith Jigma to me is the truth though. 8 for 103. He's a nice PPR. He will be consistent points.
Javonte Williams is proving a lot of people wrong though. I basically had him on my do not draft list when I saw he was supposed to be with the Cowboys this year and possibly their lead back, and I mean he's doing great. 30 points this week.
I'm not sold yet. This is just 2 weeks in. Not sold. Not sold yet.
He is 26.
We'll review this week 10, and if I'll eat my words, week 10.
Fair. But yeah, he's the number 3 overall ranked running back, which is pretty damn good for a guy he drafted super 98th. Late.
Yeah, super late. Yeah, super late.
That's how you win leagues.
True.
Yeah, he's going to need a new kicker. Matt Gay sucks. The Commanders have used like 10 kickers in the last year. Since Brandon McManus's ill-fated flight debacle where he allegedly misbehaved towards a employee of the airlines, and they've just gone through kickers since, and he just keeps missing kicks. He missed 2 against the Packers on Thursday night.
Was it Matt Gay, former Bill he was drafted by the Bucks. Pretty good draft pick for the Bucks. He's supposed to have the strongest leg in college at one time, so it's a shame how far people fall.
The only hole I see on Spawn's team is at tight end and Joku, and that's not even like a glaring hole. That's just that's like a pinhole.
Right. You got to just wait it out because right now they're running two tight end sets, and right now it's you're they're gonna they're gonna rotate. Shador's gonna play this year. Shador's gonna play. So is Shador gonna throw to the other guy or go to Njoku? Like they're gonna split the catches. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I played that other tight end. His name's like Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this two tight end thing will work as long as Flacco's quarterback. But as soon as they switch to Gabriel or Shador, like all bets are off with the
Right.
Browns.
Because Gabriel got some mileage in last game, so it means it's coming. The door, he's knocking on the door. Okay, it's happening.
So you see anything else with this one? Chuba Hubbard,
Nothing,
another good week.
nothing really. I think that that Ravens defensive number is crazy because you'll never see that because the Ravens this season gonna have a lot of like negative points in them 20+ point games.
Yeah, touchdown, interception, fumble recovery. They blocked a kick. Yeah, but yeah, Ravens D
Fool's
usually comes
gold,
up pretty good in
fool's
fantasy.
gold, fool's gold.
Next one, New Day Co-op versus Dead Money. One of these teams is 2-0 and the other one is Freeman.
uh, so we started our first one for this year for 2025. This year, we did our draft recap show, and Dead Money was the best drafted team. They had the best draft team, number one, A+ by ESPN. How far we have fallen.
And 2 weeks in, he looks like the worst team on paper. I'm looking at his team now. There's nothing inspiring on his team. You could say Jamar Chase,
Jamar
but
Chase.
he's a
Jamar
huge
Chase.
question mark now with Browning.
Nope, he's not. Not in my eyes. Brownie's gonna throw the ball only to him. He had 14 targets. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. 14 targets with Brownie. Like Brownie looked at him only and said, "I'm throwing the ball to you, Jamar, because you're gonna catch the ball and you're gonna run."
Let's put him off to the side. Burrow is now out. Omari and Hampton only had 5 points in his second game, 24 rushing yards. Tony Pollard, he's a perpetual yawn. Garrett Wilson, we asked last week, is this real? So far, not real.
It's not. It's not.
And now he has the carcass of Travis Kelce because I fleeced you in a trade, Dave.
He has Travis Hunter there, doing what number one draft picks, number 3 overall, do apparently, 3 for 22, and got a pass interference call and a fourth down call. So this guy's panning out fantastic. But let's go back. Hampton though, Hampton for the Chargers, man, stonks down, stonks way down. This guy is like in some leagues considered a first round draft pick talent, second round draft pick mostly. You know what I mean? And this is supposed to be a running team. This is a John Harbaugh team. This is a Jim Harbaugh team. Jim Harbaugh team, they are known for running the ball, and they are the worst running team in the league. How is this possible?
He had 8 carries. Najee Harris had 8 carries. That is a concern because if Najee Harris eats into Omari and Hampton's workload and they throw more than we initially thought, like this guy's just a stooge.
Like he's gonna have to live on the bench. You can't start him faithfully, And on his team, he can start Tyler Algier. So he has Algier on his bench, so he could hope that Tyler Algier gets carries in a game that the Falcons are winning. Because if they're not winning, he's not going to get carries.
Falcons are improved, so like Algier will be a better play if the Falcons are winning more games.
Correct, but the positive side is he has Matt Prater as a kicker. Matt Prater's he's Mr. Consistency, man. He's been around since we've been around. So he's been around since we've been around. He's been in the league forever. So
yeah, Kelce, 4 catches, 61 yards. I think this is just who he is now, and you just basically have to hope he falls in the end zone. He's just a name now. When I sent that trade to him, I didn't even know he accepted it, and I got a text message that said, "Did you mean to send that trade?" And I was like, "Shit, is the trade that bad?" Because sometimes you offer a trade and you're scared the other person's going to take it. And he said, "Are you? Did you mean to send that trade?" And I was like, "Oh shit, let me look at it." Kelce went 75th in the draft. Krosky Merritt went 85th. So, and then the other 4 guys were all scrubs. But yeah, if Kelce isn't scoring touchdowns and these are the yardage totals he's going to put up, he's just a guy. He's just a jag.
Yeah, literally, and it's yeah, it's not looking good, Dave. Xavier Leggett, I don't understand how you have him on your team. He is a scrub. You know what I mean? Like this guy belongs out there. One catch for -2 yards. Dude, go somewhere. Get off my team. Like,
So
go
Freeman's our
away.
first, like, oh shit, you might be in real trouble team of the league.
Yeah. Because the only thing positive outlook, he has Chris Godwin, who is like practicing right now. So he might come back by week 6. So you might have actually a good wide receiver 3 pop up that you could slot right in where Travis Hunter is, and you got points.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this day we keep giving him short shrift, but almost everybody in double digits. The Texans D had 9 and Kyle Pitts had 7, but Chase Brown 47 yards, 13 points. It'd be interesting to see what happens to him without Burrow though,
Right.
because
That's what
now
I'm
the teams
saying.
can stack the box.
Yep, they're gonna stack the box, and now they're gonna pass the ball, and them stonks might go down. Kyle Murray, dude, I am over him. They're talking about a guy. The Cardinals was killing Carolina. He threw a terrible pick. His pick was so bad, and there is no analytics said he should do the ball. That situation did that. CeeDee Lamb is still looking for his first touchdown of the year, but he's still productive, 9 for 112, and
Yeah, you'll take that. He
right.
has 24 targets already on the season.
Yeah, so that's it's none but good times there. Zay Flowers is a baller for the Ravens because
Breakout
if he's gonna look if Lamar looks somebody, he looks at Zay Flowers first only. That's it. He looks no
and
one
second.
else. First, second, wait, maybe for some seconds for a third. Roma Duje had a breakout game,
Breakout.
but I don't know if that's gonna be consistent because I don't trust the quarterback.
Right. So when I say breakout for Zay Flowers, I mean on the season. But when I say breakout for Roma Dunze, I mean for the just a game.
Let's
Like a
classify these
dude.
breakouts.
Right. Yeah. Dunze might be on the verge of a season breakout, but like slow your roll. But Flowers to the moon.
Because there's still options on that team that they could go other places. So his yards and targets can be eaten up. On his bench though, Dak for 32 points, Zach Ertz 6 for 64 and touchdown. That's
He'll
really good.
benefit from Mariota playing.
Yes, he will. His will be amazing. Chargers defense 20 points. I would have started Chargers over the Texans because the Las Vegas Raiders they're not really known for scoring high points like that. Tampa could score on you. So that's just
Ertz. Ertz is the third ranked tight end.
really, man, that's a revival. Yeah, it's a revival for him.
Yeah, because he was cooked 3 years ago. Remember, he was bouncing around. The Eagles traded
Mm-hmm.
him to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals
Yep,
dropped him. He
Cardinals.
went to the Lions, and then
He was Cincinnati for a hot second. He was started at Cincinnati first, and kind of bounced around, and yeah,
he signed with the Commanders before we knew what they were going to do. So it's like when you sign with the Commanders as a veteran at that time when he signed, it was like, oh, you're going there to die.
you're going there to help someone. You're here to teach someone to be good. That's your job.
Yeah. So Slade is 2-0 and a 3-2-0 teams. And Freeman, you can't have your money back. Next game, Charlie Browntown versus Buck. What you think? This is you. I asked him why his name was Kittle Fisher when he didn't even have George Kittle on his team, and I guess he took the note because he got a new team name.
Charlie Browntown is a hell of a name, especially with the Antonio Brown picture. So I'm like, I don't understand where he's coming with this at all. So it's weird. 74 points, man. He was the low cal of the week.
That's like one of the lowest totals in the history of the league.
Yeah, it was tough ceiling for him. Herbert's his only bright spot for real. And on the outlook for him though, he has Judkins on his bench, so he can start starting Judkins next week.
Yeah, Judkins, uh, you got to be thrilled if you're Jones here. He got 10 carries, 61 yards. He even caught 3 balls. Like wow, out of nowhere. This
Be
guy's off the top
careful.
rope.
Be careful. It is against the Ravens defense.
And he
So
is on the Browns, but like he maybe got an RB1, a reality RB1, not a fantasy RB1,
right.
when he thought this guy was gonna be like his 5th running back.
True that. You know what I mean? But yeah, Aaron, I alluded to earlier, Aaron Jones Sr., he's going to IR. So he scored 4 points. And
He was already getting limited work too.
AJ Brown, 5 for 27 yards.
Full disclosure, I'm trying to trade for him. I offered him Terry McLaurin. I got shot down. But yeah, AJ Brown, like they could win the Super Bowl, and this guy won't be happy because he is an afterthought now. It seems like
Dude, Jalen Hurts does not throw the ball anymore. It's really weird. Lad McConkey, though, 548, didn't have to do too much because Las Vegas just had control in that game. But Lad McConkey's the truth, really. Uh, Mark Andrews, 1 point. Been there, buddy. I've been there.
Dumpsville, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't get in bed with Mark Andrews. He's bad news. He'll give you
Hollywood
an
Brown,
STD.
5 for 30 on that terrible Chiefs offense. That ain't happening. Even Chase McLaughlin, who was the darling of kickers last year, is he doinked the kick last night on Monday night. So that was a tough time.
Debo on his bench, seven. He's got to get Debo in his lineup. It's 2 weeks in a row. He wasted a good performance from him.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Yeah, but what's up with you? You got double digits in the first half of your lineup, and Igbuka scored another touchdown.
Yeah, and Buka got in there for 4 for 29. Got a little screenplay there. James Conner, 34 yards and a touchdown for 15. I mean, it's serviceable. That's all I can say. It's serviceable.
You have to, like he's simultaneously like I'm happy with that, but I'm also concerned.
Yeah, I want more. I want 5 more points, but I'll take it, I guess. I mean, fine, because Benson's eating into that, because Benson has 8 points. So when you look at them together, you're talking like 23 points, but I want that to be one person. Bucky Irvin, 24 points. He really came alive that game winning drive for them. They pulled him out, though, for Rashard White to vulture the touchdown, which hurt my point total, but it was enough to win still. Nico Collins, 3 for 52 and a touchdown. It had to lose to Stroud, 207 and a touchdown. He is garbage.
Who,
It's
Nico or Stroud
Stroud.
or both? Yeah.
It's Stroud. He's a problem. He overthrew a touchdown pass on that Monday night game. Overthrew somebody that was kind of open. He just I don't know if he's scared to throw the ball. People are saying that because the previous offensive coordinator that was there, Slokins, was there, and they fired him. So now they have the new guy there, and it's not working for him. I don't know. I might be looking on the waiver wire for a quarterback if Brock Purdy's not available this week 3, because I'm gonna have to roll the dice on somebody else because I can't roll with Stroud.
Yeah, you wisely didn't play Geno Smith. He only had 8 points, 3 picks, 180 yards on your bench.
Yeah,
So,
I pulled
yeah,
out of
you
that.
have real quarterback concerns.
Yeah, I pulled out of that on Geno Smith there. Evan Ingram is hurt still, and they're moving him slowly in the offense. So I've already kind of made moves to move not necessarily off him, but to kind of bench him for a bit because somebody's got to catch the ball in Denver. Somebody's got to break out, and I hope Evan's gonna be that guy. But I don't know how it's gonna work out for me. Um, and I guess Dicker the kicker is still doing his thing.
Yeah, I guess bottom line here is you won a game you shouldn't have won.
Yeah. I mean, it's a battle of two not so great scores, but I got enough to get off the schneid and get my first win of the year.
How many teams would have beat you is my next question. Over or under 6, do you think?
Ooh, I think over 6.
You had 119, 6,
Yes,
7, 8, 9. Yeah. You
yeah,
basically only would have beat Freeman and the team you played.
yes. And sometimes in fantasy, it's all you need because there's been many weeks where there's many weeks last season where my team was just like the was it Mahai Salute, where you scored incredibly high, but the team you faced scored 200 points. So it was like there's nothing you could do. And if you'd played anybody, you would have won. But I played against the hardest team possible at the current time. So sometimes it works out, the schedule happens.
These wins are important to like allow you to stabilize yourself without falling down. Like while you look for a quarterback, while you look for a tight end, and while your flex spot shakes out, and also, while you wait for James Conner to either step it up or, just keep doing what he's doing. Because what
Right.
he's doing now is fine.
These wins are gonna matter later, especially when we're in like week 14 and we're trying to figure out like who's gonna be in a fantasy, who's gonna be in the playoffs, and the playoffs shaking out, but you're a game behind, but you're not enough points, or so you got to take them how you get them, especially
Yep,
now.
every win is huge. Speaking of wins, stealing the wins, did not win against Jordan Dickner Palmer, still worst team name in the league. 145 to 197. Jordan is also 2-0. He had a big week here. Mahomes had 27 points, 2 touchdowns, under 200 yards passing, though. Are you concerned about Patrick Mahomes if you're a fantasy owner?
If you're a Chiefs fan, I'm concerned because I don't know if Mahomes will survive the season the way he's running. He's running a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Some guys who are running on his team, though, Achan, 30 points. Kamara, 23 points. 99 yards for Kamara. Um, they gave him 21 carries. They're going to get him murdered if they keep doing that.
Yes, yes, he will not survive the season if he keep him carries like that. A Chain is that's right in his wheelhouse, 30 yards rushing and then a whole bunch of catches because
Yep.
that's what Tua does apparently with him. Puka had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, Puka's pretty damn good. I can't explain it. He's the number one ranked receiver. He has 20 targets in 2 weeks, 18 catches on 20 targets. That's pretty impressive. Um, Jalen Warren, another big game in his flex spot for the Steelers.
He had a
20
he had a pretty good
points.
game. He had a breakout catch. He had a catch where it's kind of the long catch that kind of made up a lot of those points for him.
He did play a losing head coach. Stealing the wins did not play a head coach. He never does. He always rosters one, but he never plays them.
Interesting. Well, I guess he wants to start the Chiefs head coach, and he'll start the Chiefs this week because they go against the Giants. So he'll definitely play them this week. If they lose to the Giants and go to 0-3, you just mail it in.
And then Aaron Rodgers came back down to earth. He only had 15 points this week. And then he lost JJ McCarthy. Do you play Rodgers in week 3 or do you look to the
Like,
waiver wire?
I guess it depends who Roger plays this week coming up because I think they play against New England, so there might be a serviceable play still. Brees Hall, though, I wouldn't start him against Tampa. I wouldn't do that. Was to stop the run, and now with Tyrod throwing the ball, that ain't good. That ain't good look.
I think you got to play him regardless, but I see what you're saying. He does have options if you want to, close your eyes and play Najee Harris coming off those 8 touches and 28 yards. Like maybe he showed Harbaugh something. I wouldn't be shocked there. Then Rashad White had a big week, 18 points.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really do that anymore. He had 10 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. You were right though about Travion Henderson.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely concerning because he should be a lot better than what he's doing.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe week 1 was his floor, but that's not the case.
It's like Stonks way down on Henderson right now. Stonks is way down.
It's a tough year for rookie running backs. Hampton, Henderson, Giante's off to a little bit of a slow start.
Jonte to me is like one of the worst running backs. He played so bad Monday night. I don't ever want to see him carry the ball. He can't block. He doesn't want to block. You know what I mean? How are you that big and don't want to block? And then you're messing things up. Like it's just there's a learning curve, dude. Just get the ball and run.
Yeah, hit the hole. Justin Jefferson only 11 points. He's in trouble.
He's in big trouble.
He might have been in trouble with a healthy McCarthy.
But you know what? Carson Wentz might say, "Hey, I'm going to give you a lot of targets," and we don't know. That's what Sam Darnold did.
Carson Wentz should realize he has nothing to lose. Like, just let it fly.
It's all house money, man. Just throw the ball. You're still in the league. So if you're still in the league, just throw the ball, man. You used to back up. Didn't he back up Mahomes for a bit? Dude, please. Just air it out, man.
Air it out. He's got the arm to do it. Tyreek Hill, bounce back week, 6 catches, 119 yards. That's good to see if you
that's good for him, yeah.
want to root for that guy.
Chris Olave, 6 for 54. The Saints. They're still sainting. Michael Pittman Jr., 4 for 40. I expect a little bit more. He's supposed to be number 1 on the Colts team, but he's not living up to billing.
Yeah, he's always been frustrating to me. 10 catches on 13 targets, 120 yards, and a touchdown on the season. Basically, like, he's a good flex play right now, with possibly more as the season goes on. But yeah, you're right. He's underwhelming. Anything else with Jordan's team here? Charbonnet had a bad week after a really good week 1. He had 15 carries for 10 yards.
Yeah, that's no good.
His bench is still in shambles. I don't know why he's hanging on to Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright's mom doesn't even own him.
But I think because he's holding on to that cuff for A-Chain. He knows A Chain's gonna go down, so he has to hold on to him.
Okay, yeah, you're right. A chain doesn't really inspire confidence and to stay healthy. And then our last game, Sweetness 34 versus Lionheart, the defending champion. Sweetness 34 was 1-0 and Lionheart was 0-1 and now they're both 1-1.
There you go. So Lionheart got their first win of the year. Jalen Hurts won 100 yards throwing with a rushing touchdown. That's really tough. That's tough. McCaffrey, 26 points though. 55 yards, got a receiving touchdown, got a couple catches in there. So he's definitely filling the stat book up. Montgomery, 57 yards rushing and a touchdown. So he finds his way into that scoreathon in Chicago. Um, the concerning about Marvin Harrison Jr., man.
Yeah, we were ready to proclaim him a breakout candidate last week, and I think we were right with at least my initial assessment going into the season. I don't know. He didn't grow up the way his dad did. I guess I'll say that. This guy seems like a little like he's silver spoons, you know?
Well, he's definitely silver spoon, but I'm looking at Kyler Murray, man. Kyler, how are you not throwing to
Doesn't
him?
help.
Kyler, he had 5 targets. You know what I mean? So it's like, what?
Like
Kyler,
at some point Harrison is who he is, and here we are again, 5 targets, only 2 catches. He's a target monster, but he's not a catch monster.
Marvin Harrison Jr. will go to another team and become a monster, unless he takes the Garrison Wilson, Garrison Wilson option of saying like, well, I'm gonna be a bad team, but I want a big bank count where I'm at. You know what I mean? That's fine. But if he wants to catch the ball, he needs to go somewhere else. Because it's just J-Bo had 2 catches for 108 with a
Home
touchdown.
run hitter. Yeah.
That's what he does.
If his real value is in non PPR leagues.
Right. Because like, man, what is this? What is that? Of course, his whole bottom half is all lines because it's all lines for Lionheart. All lines all time. Quentin Johnson, 3 for 71 and no touchdown. So he's found his way in zone for second straight week.
Yeah, we got to shout out Ramondre Stevenson though. He was on that draft board for a very long time. He fell to 106 and he is looking like New England's main running back. He had 11 carries for 54 yards. He had 5 catches on 5 targets for 88 yards. So Ramondre Stevenson had a better receiving day than Marvin Harrison Jr. did.
Yeah, it's here's new boss, same as the old boss. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. Sweetness, the story for real, and I don't blame him. But if he would have started golf, he would have won.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like watching Josh Allen now to see if I messed up by taking Jackson over him. And this week, I did not mess up. Yeah, Josh Allen only had 13 points and 148 passing yards, no touchdowns. He also was held in check running the ball with 6 carries for 59 yards, no touchdowns.
That's not in check at all.
Well, like he didn't get in the end zone basically. He
Well, I
had a
mean,
good YPC, but it didn't really do anything.
well, it's how I look at Josh Allen, right? And I'm anybody beyond Cook and maybe Dalton Kincaid, anybody else, Bills wise players, unless they play against somebody that's going to be a really good team, Josh Allen's not putting the cape on.
Yeah, they have their system set up to will break glass in case of emergency.
And when he breaks glass, he's holy crap. The start he blows shit up. Um, but in between, he'd have to do that. They were killing the Jets all game. He's had to turn around and Cook was killing him on the ground. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this during the draft show that he might have given himself a headache by drafting Goff and now trying to pick and choose who to play, Goff or Allen, each week.
Right. Because the pairing the Lions, just like how Ben Johnson is his interview after the game getting blown out by the Lions, they go for it on fourth down. They don't punt. That's what the Lions do. They always go for it. And Jared Goff is super accurate. So if he has time to throw the ball, he's going to complete a pass.
Yeah, if he played Goff here, he wins the game by 16 points.
Easy. So that's the part that kind of hurts for Sweetness there. He had Gibbs, the running back, 94 yards rushing, a touchdown. That little guy's going. He's getting it. He's got to find another running back, real, because he doesn't have one on his bench at all. With the Eckler going to IR, he's gonna have to make some trades. You have to trade some Jared Goff would be a good person to trade for. Trade Goff.
Yeah, offer him to Lionheart. He's a
Yeah.
sucker for Lions. Just
Yeah.
be
There you
like, give
go.
me a running back.
Yeah.
Um,
Give
yeah, you don't even need to worry about getting a quarterback back because you already have a quarterback. So it's not like give me Hurts and something else. You don't even need to do that.
I don't know who he's gonna trade because he's not gonna trade Montgomery. He's not gonna trade
Right.
Montgomery. He might trade Stevenson, but you gotta package him with somebody else to make it worth a damn. Because Stevenson's not worth golf.
You know what I would do? I would do golf for Stephon Diggs straight up. That's what I would do.
Ew. Hell no. Stephon Diggs haven't broke 70 yards receiving this year.
Don't matter though. At least you
It
cured it. Like,
matters.
it's fine.
Stephon Diggs is not a running back.
Well, then you try and trade one of your receivers for a running back.
Fair. Fair. Because he definitely is a running back in the worst way. Yeah.
Yeah, he picked up Miles Sanders this week, which is not good, but I guess you could do
Ooh.
worse.
Yeah, it could do worse. You could do some guy who doesn't get carries at all, but Miles Sanders get like 5 carries at
Yeah.
best. So,
He did fall in
Mike,
the end zone this week though.
he did in a high scoring game. So that's not every week. DK Metcalf 3 for 20 and a touchdown. Oof. This is second week in a row where he just not been good. In the first week, the Steelers were on fire, so it's not good when you're on a fire week. You don't show up. The regular week, you
He
don't show
has
up.
he has the number one ranked tight end, Tucker Kraft. He was carving the Commanders up.
Ridiculousness too. Shame on the Commanders head coach for not covering him.
Yeah, he's a big guy running across the middle of the field. He's not hard to see.
Yeah, guys, come on. Mike Evans was guarded by Stingley this past Monday, and he's the truth. He's a really good corner, man. My man was all over Mike Evans. Didn't let him move, really.
Did you think Baker Mayfield messed his foot up on that run?
I think all of us thought he messed his foot up on his
Yeah, it
run.
looked like he had one of those bad breaks, and he
And then
just
he
got
got
up,
him
got in his
really,
face.
it got his face like, I am healed. I'm instantly healed to talk shit to your face, which that's why we love him. We love him for that. Keenan Allen, though, the resurgence alert. It's back-to-back weeks, touchdown.
No, yeah, he's legit. Yeah, I mean,
Resurgence?
basically, like that's what happens when you go to the Bears. You're not going to do good, and I mean, this guy should have been a career Charger. He basically is, but yeah, Keenan Allen was drafted 117th, and he's a fantasy football Hall of Famer someday.
He will be. You know what I mean? He's the draft class with Mike Evans and out there. He's the West Coast Mike Evans for real.
Yeah, I like
Eh,
that.
That's what he is. Yeah, that's why I always looked him as. You know what I mean? So he's always been a good guy. He just get hurt. He had a really bad time where he busted his spleen that one year. That was tough. I had him on my team. He's like spleen out for the season. I'm like, what? He burst his spleen? He had Ferguson on his bench too. 9 for 78, a tight end Ferguson. So he has backup. He has 2 good tight ends. He could probably run a double tight end move. Really,
Right, he has a path to trade for a running back because he has Evans, Metcalf, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Adam Thielen, and Cedric Tillman as his receivers. Like Tillman had a
yeah.
nice game
Tillman had
with
a
a
good game.
touchdown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was that touchdown? Yeah, yeah. He has Moore too, who's waiting to have a breakout game. It's coming. 5 for 46. It's happening. It's slowly percolating there. So it's potential. So yeah, if he wants to get a running back, he could trade pieces to get something good. He'd have to sit in purgatory and having Miles Sanders. He don't have to stick with Miles Sanders.
You might quote unquote lose a trade, but like he has a nice deep bench
Right.
and a gigantic hole at running back, and basically just like trade for like a Najee Harris, someone who can maybe get 10 touches a game. Was
Right.
basically what Eckler was doing anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel that. If you're listening, Heater, please take that advice, Heater, please.
Yeah, Heater, listen up. Yeah, that's it for the box scores. Any other thoughts? You scared of any of these teams?
Well, right now, just based off just looking at it, Smash Hawk is going to be a problem because he always is. He's always around winning games. He's 2-0. Spain, I face Spain this week coming up. My man's projected 155 points. It's like, well, damn. Where everybody's like 130, it's like, dude, 155? Shit.
And we're doing Smash Hawk favors. Like he's good enough on his own, but he's also the only team that does not have 200 points against. He's at 196 points against.
Okay. And based off like just the early like the early like sums of what it looks like for preview for me against Spain next week, his team is from top to bottom better than my team. So I'm have to my team's gonna have to come out guns a blazing for me to have a chance.
He leads the league in points for and leads the league in points against, 324 to 325. So he should be 0-2. Just based on the points against. Like it's a credit to him and his draft that he is 1-1 because Brandon lost a game he should not have lost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. You got a Hall of Famer? You're up.
All right, so my fantasy Hall of Famer this year, this time, first one of the year, I'm continuing with players that you don't really. This person is in the NFL Hall of Fame actually. Um, yes, he's in the NFL Hall of Fame. Uh, this guy, he was drafted in '95, third round, third round draft pick, number 174, drafted by New England Patriots. All right, he played there for 2 seasons, and he got traded to the Jets and played for Jets from 198 to 205 to
I know who
2005.
this is. Former Pittsburgh Panther.
All right. He was the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year 95, first team All Pro in 2004. He was 2 time second team All Pro, 5 time Pro Bowler. He has the NFL rushing leader in 2004. He's a Bar Star Award winner. He's part of the New England Patriots All 90s team for 2 years. Crazy. He's in Jets Ring of Honor, and his number 28 is retired. I'm talking about no one else than Mr. Curtis Martin. He had 14,000 yards rushing, averaged 4 yards a carry, 90 rushing touchdowns, and 10 receiving touchdowns. He is just not flashy, but it was super effective.
Yeah, he was injured at Pitt, so he fell in the draft. You said third round? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing that he wasn't there for that Patriots dynasty, at least the first half of it, where because they should have never let him go to the Jets. He played like a Patriot. Parcells drafted him. I guess Parcells is the one who signed him to play for the Jets, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and yeah, I can see that. It's funny how things work out because Parcells and Belichick was probably the coach that probably drafted him back in like 95, like 95, 96.
Yeah, he was on that Super Bowl team that lost to the Packers. I think that was his rookie year.
Yeah,
And yeah, my favorite Martin. Chris Berman would call him Curtis, my favorite Martin.
there you go. And he. I always remember he had big knee pads on. He'd have big knee pads, and it wasn't pretty, but he was a grinder. He was your old school bell cow, 25, 30 carries a game. Yeah,
Quietly did it. Even in New York, he did it kind of quietly, which is a surprise.
no showboating at all. No fancy end zone dancing. Just hand the ball off to the person and run off to the sideline. Just nothing fancy about it. And the New York market's crazy. So yeah, he's a Jets legend. I want to show the Jets some love because they're facing some bad times this past week. So I was like, let me find somebody for the Jets, really. And that's what I found.
Yeah, it's bad enough to lose the way they lost, but then you lose your quarterback too that just sold you a bunch of hope the week before.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's
thought the season
frustrating.
was turned around. This is what you get now. It's like, nope, you're just same old. Jets turning off TV. They don't want to play. They don't watch TV no more.
It's in
So
their DNA. But yeah, that's a great pick. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame, Curtis Martin. That's it for us. We'll be back for week 3 next week. Good luck, everybody.
good luck, guys. See ya.